everybody? This is Santino Santiago, host and producer of Bizarre Ride to XYZ. Yeah. In this edition, I talked to Monica Rodriguez. She is a friend of mine I met in school. And she is an artist, photographer, entrepreneur, and self-taught baker of delicious sweets. She created the Skinny Piggy Bakery, and she continues to grow her business from the ground up. Before I turn on the interview, I would like to remind everyone that may be a fan of Bizarre Ride to XYZ, please subscribe to on iTunes and write a review in what you like or what I need to do better. Anyway, and I would like to plug Bizarre Ride to XYZ.xyz. Yes, I said that right, at .xyz. Forget that .com thing because it's not there. I'm at Bizarre Ride to XYZ.xyz. So forget that .com thing. Someone asked me recently, what does XYZ mean? I told them, it means anything to you. I mean, what do you want me to say? Traditionally in mathematics, obviously, it's, the Cartesian coordinates, the XY, and then Z being the unknown or variable or whatever in that, equation. So, it's a bizarre ride to XYZ. And I wanted to also mention that I finally did the social media things out there officially, where I have BR, the number 2, XYZ. So it's BR2XYZ. BR2XYZ at Twitter, Instagram, and all that good stuff out there. Whatever you can find, social media stuff, it may be. And for whatever reason, if you want to find me, Santino Santiago at SantinoSantiago.xyz. There you have it. And here is the interview with Monica. Hello, welcome to Bizarre Ride to XYZ, and this is Santino Santiago, and I'm with Monica Rodriguez. What do you want me to say your name?
Anyway, it is what it is. It's not my birth certificate. What's wrong with that?
You know what's funny? I looked you up, and you have no digital print, no internet print. I found. No, don't get me wrong. I found like 100 Monica Rodriguez.
Because I'm there as my alias. You'll find me under my alias.
But as far as you Monica Rodriguez is concerned, you do not exist.
Yes.
The person I found, she's an attorney or a counsel person in California. She's like the popular Monica
That's
Rodriguez.
Not me.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll find me under my alias, but that's a good thing. I mean, isn't it a good thing?
No. It totally is if you want to.
I want to be incognito.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people that like to live that way.
Right.
But you would, if you tried hard enough, you could. I'm sure.
But I know a lot of people that don't like the internet.
I don't like it.
They don't want.
I live on it because I have to. But if I had a choice,
right.
I wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Right.
But I'm forced to because social media makes the world go around right now.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
So I'm on there, just hidden under disguises.
Gotcha.
Anyway, we're never going to get through this interview. We're going to get into conspiracy theories.
That's fine. So, Monica Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Who are you? Tell me your place of business. And
I co-own. Oh, hold on 1 second. Okay. I co-own the Skinny Piggy, which is a create your own sweet boutique.
Where are you located?
We're in the heart of Little Italy,
okay.
which is also kind of merging into UIC Village. So it's kind of one and the same.
Okay.
We're a few minutes from the South Loop. We're right next to the West Loop, sometimes considered the West Loop. So we're in a really good place, really nice family neighborhood, but it's still the city, the inner city, with like a hometown feel.
Okay.
So we do have a lot of locals that support us, that have been supporting us. We've been lucky enough to have the same space for 6 or 7 years now. So
Oh yeah. Congratulations
thank
on that.
you. It's a lot of hard work. I started it 4 years ago. No, I started in 2010 with a different partner, and then with this new partner I have, I started with him 2014. I want to say end of 2014.
Okay.
So it's always been me,
Right.
just hustling in different levels.
Yeah.
So that's what I do in my 9 to 5.
Right. No, I find it interesting because you went into baking. I don't know how you made that transition
I have no idea.
because when I first met you many moons ago.
It's not that, calm down, it's not that long, not long ago. Way back in the day, so I'm not that old.
You were like really into fashion.
Yes, I still am.
Right, and I loved your designs, and
Thank you.
I seen. I was like, out of nowhere, I was like, oh yeah, Santino, I have a bakery now.
Right.
I was like, what happened to fashion?
I'm still doing it. I'm still in all of those things, which is what's great. I think owning your own business allows you to do that.
Yeah.
It's a different hustle, but you have to. It's a lot. It's a lot of hard work, but it allows you to still do what you love. And I created my bakery under that same idea where it's still a very creative space.
Right.
And I allow people that work with me to feel creative. So I'm not really I'm not a stickler for like, this has to look this way. As long as it fits under our brand, I'm okay with it. If it looks cool, fine. If it made you happy, let's run it, let's sell it. So I keep all of my spaces very creatively open. So it still makes me feel like I'm creating, even if it's baking.
Right.
Because I'm still creating. I created everything here. I created the concept that is everything.
Yeah.
My designer that I worked with at the time created the layout and this cool logo. But I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with really talented people that have helped me along the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's always important.
It is. You can't
surround yourself with talented people because I mean,
you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not a one-man band ever. There's always something happening behind the scenes.
That's for sure.
Because I'm not. You hear it in the back right now.
Yeah.
So
Construction going on. Yeah.
There's always something happening. But I mean, I'm still very much involved in the arts in general.
Yeah.
And sometimes I fall back a little because one thing takes over more for that while.
Of course.
But it's always there. It's always just waiting in the wings. So I've been doing that. That was years ago. We met in school.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So I was still learning a lot of where I wanted to be. And you know what? It's funny that you asked me that because today I saw a Jim Carrey video. I'm a huge fan of his.
Okay.
And he said, let me quote him right, because it'd be a disaster to
not quote
him right.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. So he says, your vocation chooses you.
Okay. Yeah.
And that kind of relieves a lot of the stress on yourself of having to pick what do you want to do in your life. And I resonate with that because my vocations have chose me.
Okay.
It's not like I ever planned to own a bakery. That was never in my wildest dreams.
No.
It wasn't even in my frame of reference.
Right. Exactly. That's why I associated you with photography, fashion, and the arts in general.
Right.
And music.
Yeah.
And that's why it was just so random when
all of a sudden.
Right. Santino, I have a bakery.
Right.
and it's going strong for like several years. So I mean that's what I'm impressed by that.
Well, I know that's people who haven't seen me in a long time who've known me in that time that you met me, they have the same exact reaction, like, what? When? And it was, I mean, I never baked, even when I had roommates, I never showed any interest in baking.
Right.
But I taught myself because at the time when I taught myself, it was a smart business decision. So it wasn't like, oh, I really want to learn how to do this. It was like, screw this, I have to learn how to do this because bakers are going to keep leaving me.
Yeah.
And I can't
Right,
afford
right.
to start from scratch every single time.
Right, exactly.
I have to be self-efficient.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
that was my path. I became self-efficient with everything that I do.
Yeah, of course.
Not
of course.
just.
So essentially, you got your MBA by doing.
Right. Yeah. And I went through a really horrible fallout with my old business partner, and I remember being in the office with my attorney, like almost in tears from like frustration and not knowing what to do. And he said, because at the time I had opened and closed a variety of different versions of the Skinny Piggy.
Okay.
So we had a pop-up store, and then we remodeled another pop-up store, and then we had, so essentially I opened and closed a few locations many times.
Right.
So he said, he's like, you already know what you have to do. He basically reminded me, like, look, you opened and closed how many times?
Right.
And I answered him.
Exactly.
And he's like, so what makes you think you can't just open and close again?
Right, exactly.
You know, and I'm like,
do it yourself.
You're right, because when the rug gets pulled from under you, when you think you're like in a secure place in your life, you kind of think like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Right.
I don't know how.
I agree.
But you already have everything you need is already in you. You don't need any. You have to be resourceful. You don't need anything else. You already have in you.
Yeah.
So he reminded me of that. He's like, you learn more, basically, in the school of life than you would have in business school.
Yeah.
And he gave me this coming from an attorney. So I'm like, his point was valid, because I always consider the source of where I get opinions or information from. Because if you get it from people who aren't exhibiting what they're speaking about, it's not for you. You just let it come in one ear out the other. But this was like a businessman, an attorney, and I'm like, you're right, I'm doing it. I took 2 weeks. I was down and out for 2 weeks. You know, did what I had to do. Cried about it for a day or two, and then I was back like, I'm taking my business back. Let's go.
Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Because I mean, people in business school, I know a lot of them that have their MBAs and stuff like that, and they're like, MBA is worth it, but
it's a lot of hard work to get.
But at the same time, exactly what you just said, experience
is everything.
Is everything. You can have a degree, but it doesn't mean shit if you
don't have the hustle.
Right, if you don't have the hustle or the motivation to put it to use.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's one of the biggest things I feel that, and it works both ways, obviously, but in my experience, because I did go to college, I know what that gave me, and I know that I learned more on my own. It did give me a jump off point, but I don't think in hindsight I would have even needed to go all the years that I went.
Right.
You know, I learned a lot more from just, and everyone learns different ways.
No, totally.
This is just what resonated with me.
Yeah, because I mean, for me, I took education, and I met you in school, and like I took off several, for a few years, for more than a few years, and then I went back, took off, went back,
me too,
and stuff like that. And then finally, I had the opportunity just to go, to hustle on through to get my master's.
Yeah.
And I did that.
Yeah.
But it took me longer to get an associate's degree than my bachelor's and my master's degree.
And I think honestly what it is that I think that we push, I don't have any kids, but from my experience of like how I was treated and what I hear people talk about, is that I think that we push our kids to this traditional lifestyle that has been implemented in our heads, that it's supposed to be for you.
Right.
Like you're supposed to follow these steps to be successful. You go to grade school, you go to high school, you go to college, and then if you want to continue, and that's the only way you're going to succeed. And that's bullshit. That's not the only way you're going to succeed. There's different levels of success, and I think that with every with every personality has to be treated differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that path isn't for everyone.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. School's not for everybody.
No. It doesn't mean you're not going to succeed if you don't go.
Exactly.
You just have to
it's just a little bit harder.
It's harder.
And the hustle needs to be 10 times.
It has to be that much harder.
Much time harder.
Like
too.
know that if you're not picking a quote unquote traditional path, the other path is going to be a hustle, and you have to have your hands in a lot of baskets. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna I'm going to start a photography company, but that's all I'm doing.
Right.
No. What I've had to do was, I'm going to start a photography company. I'm also going to do this and this and this all at the same time because I need to earn.
But you can't work yourself too, because then you get burned out.
Yeah, there's a happy medium. I've been burned out many times. I've been on the verge of coming back from a burnout and at the edge of a burnout so many times. And that's the way you learn yourself. You think, oh, okay, this is what I'm feeling. It's a burnout.
Right.
It's not just, oh, I'm depressed out of nowhere.
No.
You have to learn what it is.
It's a burnout. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially for my associate's degree.
Yeah.
I got burned out because I wasn't going to school consecutively like a traditional way, because I was just working and doing my thing or whatever.
Right.
And I felt burnt out. I got burnt out, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm done."
Yeah.
And it was like one math class.
You were like, I can't. Fucking algebra.
Exactly.
When have you ever needed
college algebra? Oh my goodness.
And for the record, I've never used anything I learned in high school algebra. Let that be known. Just get through it, guys. Get through the class. Get the C to pass it and buy. Get over with. Never use that shit.
That's essentially the GRE too, which is the graduate record examination or whatever. It's essentially a high school equivalency test, but they phrase the question so freaking hard that it's like you don't even want to take it or even think about taking it.
I was a horrible test taker.
Oh yeah, no, same here.
Like I just literally would look at the sheet and be like, I don't care, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So I feel that I think that I went to college because it gave me, I met a lot of cool people in college. Yeah. And I think networking happened, the skill of networking I learned in college, and then also having my specific core classes, like my photography classes, I learned a lot from. And everything else was just fucking fillers for the school to make money,
So you mentioned photography.
Yes.
Like what is photography to you? Because I mean, like I said, you were like, and you still are one of my favorite photographers.
Oh, thank you.
so
I appreciate that.
Sigmund is still one of my favorite photographers.
Is he?
Too. Yeah.
You still talk to him?
Yeah, I talked to him maybe, it's about a year now. But
Sigmund was a really cool, where was he from?
Poland.
He was a really cool Polish photographer when we were in college. He was amazing.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of his time at the time.
Yeah. I still have
his work?
Yeah, his work hanging in my place.
I think I may have one of his pieces. I'm not sure. Photography for me is everything. It's my heart. It's when I get burned out, I retreat to that to kind of bring me back to my purpose.
Right.
And I mean, I do it a lot. I used to escape negatively in the past when I was stressed out. I'm an escaper.
Okay.
I used to escape in like negative things, like drugs, alcohol, partying, whatever.
Okay.
So now when I'm stressed out or burned out, I escape in that. Like I go back to my roots, which is what I love doing creatively is photography. And it's my heart. It's everything. It keeps me grounded. I love photography. It's truly my passion.
So like describe like something that you took a picture that you took
recently.
Or whenever. I mean,
Recently, I'm working on this new project that's called Keepsakes.
Okay. And
it's I'm working on curating a show for it.
Okay.
Once I actually finish them.
Right.
Because I don't know when it's done. But the theme behind Keepsakes is we all have keepsakes in our minds, in our memories and emotionally, that we keep guarded and locked up, even if it's negative.
I agree
because
with that.
It's created who we are, right?
Yeah.
So even though they were horribly traumatic situations in our life, they're still there to remind us of where we came from and keep us humble.
Yeah.
And for you to remember, like, damn, I survived that. So nothing back there, nothing that happens to me in the future can ever destroy me because I made it through all of this.
Right.
And it's not wearing it like not victimizing yourself or wearing it like a badge of like, oh my God, I'm a victim, or I almost destroyed myself or whatever.
Right.
It's just being aware of what created who you are. So I've created this piece where they're just things that are representative, objects that are representative of times in my life.
Okay.
And I photographed them in these glass jars. It's kind of product photography.
Okay.
And
I like that. I
I'm
like
printing
that.
them in light boxes.
Okay.
So that it looks kind of when people keep like, have you ever seen archaeologists or people who keep like brains in jars and they conserve them?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same thought of conserving something. It's like a precious memory or something in a. It's why it's called keepsakes.
Oh, I love that actually.
And some of them are a little. I can show you one. I mean, they're not going to be able to see it. But fuck it, fuck you. No. You're not part of this conversation.
Don't steal her idea.
So it's something that I'm really passionate about because it has a lot of meaning to me. And eventually I see it as like everyone. I see it as me taking on projects of people who want me to document their keepsakes.
Right.
And then instead of them keeping my artwork on their wall, they would have their own keepsakes that I would create for them.
Oh no, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. I really do.
So if you have any keepsakes. So Santino.
No. So I probably do somewhere.
Yeah, you have to.
So do you think the internet is a hindrance to photography? And what do I mean by that is that you post your picture somewhere and somebody steals your work. I mean, not steal it, but they take it and they keep it. I mean, if they use it for commercial use or whatever, that's something different. That is stealing. But I mean, people take it or whatever. So do you like those social media outlets for photography, such as like Instagram or Visco or something like that?
I mean, I think it's a great way to get your images out to a huge audience.
Right.
You reach a lot more people that way for sure.
Of course.
The only thing is, how is the person, what does the screen look like that the person is seeing this from?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you go into a gallery, you know that this is what everybody's going to see. That's what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
So that's always nerve-wracking to me because I'm like, oh, how about if their screen isn't calibrated and their colors are off and they're looking at this and it looks like shit and I'm over here thinking it's magic and they're like, what the fuck is this, but that's the only thing that always in the back of my mind.
So is it safe to say that you're a traditionalist in the sense of that you like printing?
I love printing. It's my background. I consider myself very blessed, very lucky to have been trained in that way. So when I started college, we were in the tail end of film was a few years away from
being dead,
being gone.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's still alive.
It's still alive, but it was like the main.
It's essentially really fine art now.
Right. So I loved it. It was.
Oh yeah, your coffee's great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's Illy Coffee here at the Skinny Piggy on Taylor Street. So it's I loved it. It was so peaceful. It was like you really felt like you were a part of what you were doing. You know. Digital it's great. It's amazing. Don't get me wrong, but those are the parts that I missed about. It was very organic. Film was like part of you. You were cooking it essentially.
Okay.
And so sometimes when I go back and look at my prints, they're just they have such richness and such emotion and depth to them. It's insane. I love looking at them. Yeah. I will always be grateful that I learned how to do that on my own for years.
Yeah. Because it's, I think in today's world that since there's an app for everything.
For fucking everything.
Yeah. So it's essentially, I love that. Yeah, I really do.
This is one of them.
Yeah.
So this is obviously representative of my childhood.
This is the keepsake that she is showing me that you cannot
It's one of the jars. Yeah. So it's like a series of them that I'm hopefully will be done by October.
Okay.
The heat is on.
You gotta let me know
And
when you show it. Yeah, that could be interpreted in many different ways there.
It's so great. I can't wait to see what people's feedback is on it.
Yeah.
I know that a lot. I know people. Whatever, whatever it means to you is what it means to you. I mean, fuck why I made it.
Right. As far as like showing, once you show your work, you don't care what people interpret. It's their interpretation of the work, or it's like you have to be like, no, this is what I mean by my work.
I mean, I'm always gonna explain what I meant by it, but at the end of the day, I made it for people to interpret.
Yeah.
And I care, but I'm not attached to the feedback. It's interesting. I'd like to hear it because it obviously I come from a background.
It just makes you better.
Yeah.
At the end of the
and
day.
I come from a background of especially in school, I had really intense critiques. Like every week, like every other week, we were critiqued harshly by our peers and our professors. Yeah. So I have very thick skin. I don't take anything personal. If you don't like it, okay. If you like it, great. Yeah. If you're indifferent, great. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just my way of being able to express myself, and I want to share it with people because I've been inspired by artists in the past that I've been exposed to, and I'm hoping that if somebody gets inspired by this for anything, then I'm grateful, but I'm not really attached to the response. I will listen to it because obviously it does. Constructive criticism is positive and it does help you.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree with that.
It's an outside perspective. Yeah, I welcome it, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make or break my stride.
Right. Because it's still your work and it's still your ideas.
And it's actually that. It's funny because I feel that everything you go through in life is preparing you for where you're supposed to be. Yeah. So even in the industry that I am professionally, entrepreneur wise, that background helps me put myself in this spotlight and be like, yeah, I made it. You know, and I stand by what I made. Yeah. I did it with pride and with good intentions.
You have to have your passion for it. Yeah. Because if you don't have a passion for it,
it's shit. Yeah. And I have even though what's up? Oh.
Passion.
Yeah. So even in here, like I don't have the history of it, right? Or like everybody. I was telling a few of my friends the last few weeks, like everyone expects my story to be like, so how did you get into this? And they want that story of like, oh, I grew up in the kitchen. I've always wanted to bake, and my grandma used to have me make cookies every Sunday morning. That's why I don't have that story, but
that's why I find your story interesting.
Right, but see, not everybody has the same story,
Right, absolutely.
And so it doesn't validate or unvalidate your progress or your skill. It's just you have a different story. I just didn't fucking cook cookies in the kitchen with my grandma. She was a cook.
There's nothing wrong with that.
She wasn't a baker.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
so my experience in the kitchen with my grandma was a lot different.
Yeah, no, totally. Because traditionally, it's the woman cooks, the man it's the provider or whatever and stuff like that. But like in my household, it was always my father cooking.
Was it really?
Yeah. So it's like my mother. I mean, she could cook. Don't get me wrong, but
she just wasn't into that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if I thrive to be my cooking inspirations will come from my father. Yeah, not my mother.
That's interesting. Yeah. So. And you see, that's a different story. I find that more interesting, like if it's like what shaped your environment.
Right, yeah, totally.
It's a lot more interesting. Give me one quick second. So, okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
So, what I was saying, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We can move on.
Okay, we'll move
on. Music. Okay. So I know you're a big fan of music.
Huge.
Yeah, totally. So are you going to Riot Fest?
I am.
Okay.
My sister-in-law, my new sister-in-law, was so kind to purchase tickets for me. Okay. I'm going all 3 days. Oh, I'm very excited for Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them perform since I was like in my early 20s.
Oh, wow.
It's not that long ago. Oh wow!
No.
No, I caught what you were throwing.
No. I never seen those, so I just I'm gonna go and see them.
Okay, thank you. All right. You're going?
Yeah.
I'm very
going.
excited.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah.
I'm excited for them and for TV on the radio.
Okay, yeah, I actually know who they are, and I actually want to see them too. Yeah,
Love
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 acts I'm really looking forward to.
Okay.
Obviously, Wu-Tang, I've seen them before.
Yeah, same here.
I'm all right. I mean,
Yeah.
no disrespect, but I've seen them. I'm okay. It's cool to watch them, but I'm indifferent.
How about on Sunday?
Who?
On Sunday, are you gonna go? On
Yeah,
Sunday?
is that Sunday, right?
No. It's Sunday. I don't know who's Jawbreaker. I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Me either.
There's a lot of bands that I've never heard of, but it's cool to see things happening in Douglas Park.
Yeah.
It's kind of giving purpose to the open land. So I'm really excited for it to be there. But New Order, Nine Inch Nails, I'm there.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No.
This is the first time I've been to Riot Fest.
For real? Oh yeah.
They used to be so close to where I live that I could hear them. I could hear it. So I needed to go because it was like I could hear it.
right. Why pay for it if you can hear it?
Yeah. Now they've moved and I can't hear them clearly from where I am.
So you gotta go.
So I have to go now. But 3 days. I'm used to going to festivals for 3 days outside of the city, like if I'm out of town.
Oh, okay.
But it's gonna be weird for me that it's in the city. I don't know if that makes sense to you, because it's like.
I guess how I'm interpreting that is that since you're not going outside the city, so you're like I'm home, and you're gonna be home. You're gonna return to your house at night,
right?
So you don't feel like it's a festival.
Yeah, I don't feel like that exciting.
Right.
I'm looking forward to these bands, but I'm not excited. Because I'm just gonna go home at the end, and then you go wake up and go to work, and then go back to the festival.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be, it's strange. It's a strange thing.
So in that sense, maybe that's the mature Monica talking.
I guess so.
Instead of the 20-something Monica talking.
Where I would have made it like a 3-day party.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
now I'm like,
I'm looking forward to it regardless, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I just feel like, because
So
I went to the Detroit Movement Festival.
Okay, how was that?
Amazing. It was one of the best times of my life. It was a non-stop party for 3 days.
Wow.
But it was on a different level. It wasn't like a rave. It was like just cool vibes. Mm-hmm. It was like a hippie music festival.
Okay.
Like a hippie dance music festival. It was amazing. It was so much fun. I was so exhausted when I came back, but it was. I'm gonna go I'm going next year again. I see myself going every year. It was that amazing.
So wait, that's in Detroit, obviously.
Yeah.
So
that was fun.
You just drove or fly?
We drove.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice drive.
Yeah,
it's not far.
Like 6 hours or something like that?
About, I'm gonna say 4 to 6 hours, I don't remember.
Depending on.
That's why it wasn't.
Depending on how fast you drive.
Right. It wasn't that harsh of a driver I would have remembered.
Right.
But I don't remember how bad it was, so it's okay. I'm okay with it.
So, since I know you're music,
Extraordinaire?
Yes. I have something that I want to introduce as a new segment, and it's what does these lyrics mean to you, actually?
What do these lyrics mean to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And you're just randomly picking a song for me?
Yes. But I remember early on, I used to listen to a lot of this music, so you might actually know these lyrics.
Oh,
maybe
God.
not. I don't know. So here I go. The headmaster ritual, Rashomon Ruffins. I want the one I can't have. What she said. That joke isn't funny anymore. How soon is now? Nowhere fest. Well, I wonder. Barbarism begins at home. Meat is murder. So I take
That
it-
is so deep. I know what that is. That's the Smith.
Yes.
How soon is now?
Yes. See, you're good.
I know. That was I still love. They're one of my favorite. They're pivotal into my existence. I hate you. That's such a deep. That's too deep. Pass. Oh my
I
God.
love that.
Can I read that?
Just like a little, I guess, synopsis of lyrics. I know that that's something that you're familiar with. So
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of like interpretations, obviously, but you were looking at this song, How Soon Is Now.
yeah, excuse the porno.
Whatever, I don't care. Get it how you live. So How Soon Is Now is about, this is one of my favorite parts right here. You shut your mouth. How can you say I go about things the wrong way? I am human and I need to be loved just like everybody else does. That is amazing. That obviously is speaking on his sexuality and just plain and simple, I'm human and I deserve to be loved. Like, how dare you say that I'm not going about that the right way?
Right.
So he was really passionate about that. Not just about his sexuality, but just about like, fuck off, I'm doing things my own way. And he was very passionate about it, and he was very passionate about just being left the fuck alone. You know, and this is one of my favorite songs of his. How Soon Is Now. That's what that means to me.
So did I do good?
That was right on. That wasn't it. When you were telling me, I'm thinking like I'm listening to a lot of hip hop right now. Like, what am I gonna say? Like, there's so many ways I can go with it, but that was perfect to my history. This is the Smiths in my life helped me really get through a lot in my adolescence, especially where you know all that mumbo jumbo about that other people are feeling the same way. It's not just you.
Yeah.
I was always an outcast where I grew up, particularly high school. So the Smiths were my guiding voice in high school. Yes, it may have made me a little more emo and a little more anti-establishment, but I didn't care. I was happy because I knew that there was millions of people in the world that felt just like me, and I wasn't going to conform because that was boring to me. And I think it's important to be an individual, even with the music that you listen to.
Agree.
Bam.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So the Smiths, thank you.
Yeah. No,
That was good, Santino.
thank you, and I guess
You know me.
yes. So Monica, I guess this concludes our interview here. So
Sorry for all the interruptions.
No. You're working. You're a working woman.
He did come to my bakery to record this.
Right. And so
I can't be anywhere near here if I want to do something productive. Because people are like, you're here. Help me.
No. So where could people find you? Could you just name your address and all that
For my
stuff?
baked goods,
Yes.
I'm at 1214 West Taylor in Little Italy. It's called the Skinny Piggy. We're right between Racine and Lidl.
Okay.
We bake everything from scratch. We have a lot of really, really delicious stuff here. And I'm not just saying it because it's mine. We do.
No, and I contest to that.
Yeah,
so-
thank you.
so
We also have coffee, which you had, Illy Espresso. And then for my artwork, you can find me on Instagram at Moni Meow Meow, which is my handle.
Okay.
But that's mixed with personal and professional work. But my website is www.bullyandtwig.com.
Okay.
That's where my portfolio is.
Sweet.
Where I will announce when I have my show.
Oh yeah.
When I have it all
yeah,
down.
Yeah.
And then you can also find me on Facebook at Bully and Twig Studio.
Okay. And does the Skinny Piggy have a website or anything like that?
Yes, of course. We make a lot of business through our website. So our website for the Skinny Piggy is www.theskinnypiggy.com. And then we also have Skinny Piggy Bakery, which is our Instagram, and the Skinny Piggy on our Facebook. So that encompasses basically most of what I'm doing right now, if not all. But there are like
So
little side projects.
So what you're telling me is
that you actually do have a digital print.
I do. I'm telling you, but I'm just, you would find me under Monica Azar,
Right.
which is my father's real birth name.
Oh, okay.
But we have Rodriguez.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Why would I?
I've been living a lie. And I didn't know. So, Azar is where you would find me.
Okay.
If you would look me up, you'd just find me there. My Facebook and
All
my
right, good
Instagram is
stuff.
under Monica Azar too. So you would probably find me under there.
There you go. Sweet.
Now I've ruined my anonymity.
Exactly. You did.
Shit. Could you strike that from the record? I've ruined my anonymity.
Well,
Thanks to you. You pressured me. I cracked under media pressure.
this was great, Monica. Thank you.
Thank you. It was amazing how much time has passed and you still know. You have a really good memory though.
You
do.
I have
I have
my
a horrible
moments.
memory.
I have my moments.
That's true. You do have a lot of relapse moments.
So.
You do.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Monica, for having me at your place of business. So, yes, there was a few interruptions, but she's a busy woman. That happens when you're a busy woman. There's going to be a few interruptions. And she's doing great things in photography, art, everything, baking, all that good stuff. You can find her at theskinnypiggy.com and in Little Italy at 1214 West Taylor Street. And thank you once again for listening to Bizarre Ride to XYZ. This is Santino Santiago signing off. Until next time, write me later. Adios. Konnichiwa. Bye-bye. Here we go, on the Bizarre Ride.